Troy Athens Redhawks, led by senior quarterback J.D. Graves, have had a winning season so far with a 6-2 record. With a win tonight, they may still have a playoff berth, but a loss would definitely end the season. The Troy Colts are in much of the same situation as their crosstown rival. Last week, we watched the Clarkston Wolves defense shut down the Colts. And a week earlier, Troy was upset by Rochester Adams. Tonight, the playoffs hang in the balance as the Troy Athens Redhawks battle the Troy Colts on the TCI Sports Game of the Week. The TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Troy High School, it's the Troy Athens Redhawks taking on the Troy Colts. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorin here at Troy High School, where tonight it's a battle for Troy. It's the Battle of Troy between the Redhawks and the Colts. And looking at these two teams, we'll take a look at the Athens Redhawks first. Their leader has to be Graves. J.D. Graves, the quarterback, doing a tremendous job this season with a record of, 9 touchdowns so far passing with 54-91 for 946 yards. And another tremendous stat is that he's got 434 yards rushing on 70 carries, and he's got 9 touchdowns rushing on top of those 9 that he's thrown. On the other side, the Troy Colts, well, they go with a strong running attack, and that is led by Jim Essien. Essien we saw last week against the Clarkston Wolves, and he carried the load for them. Essien so far this season with 940 yards, and he has 12 touchdowns on the season. Essien can go over the 1,000 mark, and so can J.D. Graves passing, respectively. So a great game in store for us tonight, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us. The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book, and by Bell Tire.
I'm the king.
Of rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gothier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my Market Share Coupon Book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this. $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology.
Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this.
Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more.
The competition can't.
Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't.
They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
The TCI Sports Game of the Week this week. We're at Troy High School, where the Colts host the Troy Athens Redhawks in the Battle of Troy, and this is always a good one, the last game of the season, and these teams always look forward to this one. Let's take a look at the current standings. Troy Athens 3-2 in the conference, 6-2 overall. Troy 4-2 in the conference, and 6-2 overall. So almost identical records there as we head into the last game of the season. Eric McCullough will do the kicking off as Troy Athens won and deferred, and this is hit and into the end zone for the touchback. Drew Patrick could not handle it. Goes into the end zone, and the Troy Colts will get the ball at the 20-yard line to start this one. We saw the Colts last week against Clarkston in a very tough battle for them, as the turning point in that game, as I talked to Gary Griffith, was the catch that they thought they had in the end zone that we showed the replay a number of times. You can ask our director, Pat Collar, who had to rewind that tape. That was the turning point, as Gary Griffith talked about that. Jim Quisenberry, the quarterback, sends Drew Patrick in motion and back the other way. Hand off to Essien. No surprise there as he goes off tackle and brought down after a couple of yards. So Essien, as we talked in our open, has 12 touchdowns this season, 940 yards, so he needs 60 to get 1,000 on the season. There you see the weather forecast, cloudy and windy. It is picking up. 10 to 15, might be blowing harder down there. And the wind chill is down in the teens right now, folks. And a strong wind blowing across the field. Quisenberry calling the signals. He's got two receivers split down here. They go to Essien off tackle again. Essien, after a 4-yard gain, picks up the first down now and a gain of about 10. So Jim Essien on a roll already. You see the junior, the workhorse for this Troy Colt team offensively. There's the fake and then the handoff to Essien around the other side. And it looked like he almost lost that too. It was up around his shoulder, but he did manage to hang on to it. First down for the Colts, ball at about the 34-yard line. Quisenberry has two receivers split, Patrick in motion. And Athens looks like they were stepping up to fill in the hole and missed it, as Essien gets a pretty good gain. Gain of close to 7. We'll see where they mark it. And he may have gained 8 yards. Let's take a look at Essien again. And they're not doing anything fancy. Still attacking the off tackle between the tackle and the end, and that is where they're going. And they seem to find the opening all the time for that guy right there, Jim Essien. First man through this time, and there's that familiar number 52 that we saw last time, Aaron Miles. Miles stopped, did not get the first down, so it'll be a 3rd and short yardage coming up now for the Colts. Miles, primarily a blocking back, I should say, in there. Running off the field now for the Colts. Big number 79, Petrosky, Derek Petrosky. There you see Aaron Miles. Primarily a blocking back in there. They have a power I formation. Now they send Patrick in motion coming to you. 3rd and short yardage. This time Miles picks it up. Aaron Miles only needed a yard or two and picks it up. So the Colts on the move, and nothing slowing them down so far. Let's take a look. And the first man through is Miles. Straight up the middle. And he follows the big surge, the blocking from the offensive line of the Colts. Colts really having a good season until the end when they ran into Rochester Adams. It was hot that night, and then the Clarkston Wolves. You saw Gary Griffith down on the other end. Essien on the first down carry doesn't get much. They stop him at the line. And I asked Gary Griffith before the game, you going to do anything different? And he said no. Same old thing, and that's what they're doing here. They're running the ball primarily with Essien. He has been their workhorse. And a couple things have to happen here for the Colts to get in the playoffs. Henry Ford plays on Saturday, and if they lose, in a combination with Catholic Central losing, then the Troy Colts can somehow squeak into the playoffs. On the other side, Athens, again, John Walker didn't want to figure it out. They're rushing Essien again, and a pretty good gain. as they primarily stick to the ground. Third down and about 4 or 5 coming up. Let's take a look here on Essien's run. The pitch goes out to Essien this time rather than a dive, and he follows his blocker Quisenberry, who was out there after the pitch. There you see Gary Griffith on the sideline talking it over. Cold night here at Troy High School. The coldest nights of the season so far, and it's a good thing it's the last game. Quisenberry to throw, has an open man and overthrows his intended receiver. That is Mark Bullock. We saw Bullock last week, a busy guy against Clarkston, and they go to him first here. And it'll bring up 4th down and a punting down for the Colts. They fake one way and then comes back across to his right. Has time and has him open, actually. You can see that he had about 5 yards between him and the defender. A lot of time to punt. They get it off end over end, and not much of a roll, so it bounces inside the 30 to about the 25-yard line. And that's where the Athens Redhawks will start on their first possession. So the Colts moving the ball pretty well up until they got around midfield, and then the Redhawks toughen up. We're in the first quarter, 7:57 left, and no score. Here's the first possession coming up now for the Redhawks, and their offense is potent because of that guy, number 11, J.D. Graves. Graves, 9 touchdowns throwing this year, 9 touchdowns rushing, 434 yards rushing, along with his 946 passing. So a very potent attack, and he leads the way for these guys. They go with the option. They fake the option and give it to the fullback right up the middle, and he takes off for some big yardage. And that is Forg, Michael Forg, number 34. Forg himself with 4 touchdowns on the season and a big run here. They fake the option, but they give it to the first man through, and a big gain of 23 yards as he rumbles his way. So that is a big break for Athens if they can get their fullback to get some big yardage like that on the first down. Ball at the 48-yard line. I formation, 2 receivers split down to the bottom, and in motion goes Belanger. Snap is fumbled, and we'll see who falls on it, and the Colts get it back. A big break for the Colts, and it looked like number 26 falling on it, and that was Brian Gratton. So Gratton gets the recovery for the Troy Colts. You see him on the sideline getting congratulated. Let's take a look and see where he sneaks in. There's the ball, and right now Gratton falls on it right away. So he got in there right away, and no chance in there for Aaron Chalker to get it back. 74. Quisenberry handing off to Essien. He's met immediately at the line, and a nice tackle straight up. Chris Fair getting in there quickly to make the stop. So that time, not really the kind of run we've seen. Let's take a look. He is open, wide out in the open there, and it was a straight one-on-one tackle for Fair, and he got the big guy Essien down. Essien, a big back, 6'3", 209. A junior, he's got some time next year as Bullock lines up on the right side now. Quisenberry on the reverse, Patrick. A little counter play, and didn't even fake to any other back. Patrick was in motion, just took off, and got a pretty good carry out of it. Watch Patrick get in there in no time, and the handoff on the inside. It looked like Quisenberry might have been looking to hand off on the outside for a second there. And finally, Athens gets him down. It was Duran on the tackle. Colts on the move after the fumble and the turnover by the Redhawks. Quisenberry back to throw, has time, feels pressure, let's go deep. In the area of Patrick, he was covered very well down there by Chet Miller, number 20. So Patrick drawing some attention down there in the defensive backfield, and it brings up a 4th and punting down again. Let's take a look, and you'll see the 2 defenders covering down there. Now, Quisenberry has plenty of time and feeling pressure. 74, Chalker was about 5 yards away. And down the side, you saw the ball go out of bounds. Essien to punt now with a 4th and about 6 yards. Essien, plenty of time. They're not attacking him. He gets a good punt off. And they ask for the fair catch, but it does take a Athens bounce as it bounces at the 15 and comes back out to near the 20. But they'll mark it at about the 17-yard line. Let's see. Nope. Correction. They will mark it at about the 18-yard line, 19-yard line. So the Redhawks will try it again as the Colts were unsuccessful after that turnover. No score yet, 6:10 left here in the first quarter. And there is Graves again. A cold night, and that is why we probably had that fumble, the coldest night of the season so far. In motion, Belanger. They go on the straight dive again to the fullback, number 34. And that is Forg again. Forg with 49 carries and 395 yards coming into this game with 4 touchdowns. And let's take a look again. Straight dive, and this is the one he gained the big yardage on, the big 23-yard run earlier. That time, the Colts read it well. 2nd and long now for the Redhawks. In motion, Belanger. Fake. No, they give it to the first man through, and looked like for a second they was going to pull it out, and Graves kept it in there. And the Colts stack it up again, so it'll be 3rd and long. Let's take a look here. Right there, they held it in there. Good job in holding that ball in, but they read it well. One of the players in there, DJ McCarthy. We called McCarthy's number a few times last week at Clarkston. Graves on a 3rd and long now, and let's see if they go to the air. They were throwing well in pregame, and Coach Gary Griffith said they are doing really well. Even with the wind, it doesn't seem like it's affecting their passes. Let's see if it does here. He floats it up, double coverage down there on Mikula. We saw Durda down there along with number 31, Fakuri, covering. Let's take a look. Graves back to throw, has some time, and then finally starting to get some pressure on the outside by Emery. And then the wind did finally get a hold of that, but it was well over the head of the intended receiver down there, Mikula. And it will be Mikula to punt. So neither team getting anything going offensively here in the first quarter with 4:49 left. And a punting down for Athens. Mikula hits a line drive, and it just barely got over the line of scrimmage. Patrick takes it and scrambles past the 50 and gets it over to the 46-yard line of the Redhawks. So the Colts again with good field position, and see if they can do something here. Drew Patrick, the senior, 6'1", 172 on the return. Does a lot of returning for this team, as well as his receiving. Let's take a look. Tough one to catch, actually, but he got a good bounce right at him and then scrambled around and did a good job. That is when the blocking really broke down because of the low punt. Essien straight up the middle, breaks through, and breaks through for about 8 yards. A great carry there as he just fell forward. And I think Essien himself was surprised to see so much daylight after getting the ball. Let's take a look. Right up the middle. Nothing fancy here. And Essien then falls forward for another 4 yards after he was tripped. So gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. And you can see everybody's got the winter attire on tonight, as the temperature is down in the teens. 2nd and 2. Quisenberry has Patrick in motion. They go to Essien for the first down. And finally, with the help of Forg in there, they get him down. Let's take a look again. Again, right up the middle. Essien trying to make a cut back, but he was hung up there, and he was met again. This time by Melessa, Steve Melessa getting there initially. Timeout down on the field. The referee calls timeout. An equipment problem, looks like, on the Red Hawks. There's Essien, 8 carries for 41 yards on the night. And he is about 20 yards away from that 1,000-yard mark on the season. 3:44 left in this one, and the clock starts again here in the first quarter. Handoff to the first man through, and the first carry we've seen by Zemke. Matt Zemke on the carry, and a pretty good gain for him on the first time. So Zemke, the senior, comes in and gets a pretty good gain of about 6 yards. And we see an injured Athens player down on the field. That's Aaron Chalker. Chalker, the senior, 5'11", 200 pounds. We saw Chalker down there earlier trying to get that fumble recovery, which the Colts got the first one of. 3:24 left here in the first quarter. And it does not look good down on the field with the pause in the action. 3:24 left. We'll be right back with more action here at Troy High School. It's the Battle of Troy. We'll be back right after this.
TCI Cablevision of Oakland County, nominated in 3 categories for National Cable Ace. Sports programming, public affairs, overall commitment to local programming.
And the Cable Ace award goes to Transition.
The Cable Ace goes to TCI Cablevision of Oakland County.
TCI 63. See what you've been missing.
Chalker was helped off the field. Does not look good for him. Looks like a knee injury. If we get any information further, we'll let you know about that. 2nd down and 4 now for the Colts. Here you see Chalker getting helped on the sideline. The handoff, Essien got a nice block. The hole was open momentarily, and then it just collapsed on him just as he got there. And we'll see if he did pick up the first down, though. He's going to be short by about a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 1 coming up now for the Colts. Let's take a look. From this angle, you can't really see the hole where it opened up. Just a little bit you could there. But as soon as he got there, the Red Hawks were able to close down on him and stop him from getting the first down. 3rd and 1. You can hear the wind. It is very windy, very cold down there. And it has probably cost the Red Hawks their first turnover. Essien muscles his way forward for the first down. And the Colts are smelling that end zone as it gets closer. They are at the 20-yard line now of the Red Hawks. Let's take a look as Essien just powers his way with the first down and more. Colts at the 20, 1st and 10. Essien, the workhorse, we saw him. He's pretty much the only play the Colts had if you were watching last week against Clarkston. Essien doing the job. There he is again. Bounces off the initial hit, still on his feet as he spins and turns, and got 5 yards out of it the hard way. So Essien, on his own, picks up 5 yards, shook off the first tackle, and then didn't go down. Waited for the whistle. They mark him for a 4-yard gain. So the Colts on the move and getting closer and closer to the first score of the game. We're at 1:47 here in the first quarter. Quisenberry with a pro set I formation for the Colts. Patrick in motion. A handoff to Essien. Essien goes off tackle to the right. Essien breaks into the backfield inside the 5-yard line and finally brought down by 4 Red Hawks. Well, the junior showed us some power there. And if you're a Troy Colt fan, you're going to be happy to see him back next year. Look at him go. Gets a good read off tackle there. Stumbles a little bit, then meets 2 Red Hawks. Still keeps going. And then finally, it took 4 Red Hawks to push him back, and a gain of 11 yards. Ball on the 4-yard line. Essien, touchdown. So Jim Essien gets the Troy Colts on the board, and the first to score, Gary Griffith. Not showing any emotion, but he's got to be happy that his team leads 6-0 with 1:05 left. Well, Essien got him there, and it's only fitting that he get him in the end zone, and he does. Good blocking up front for him, and he just found the hole, and it's too late for the Red Hawks to get him. The extra point attempt. The wind again blowing across the field, and it is good. So Quisenberry kicks it through, and the Troy Colts lead 7-0. So the 4-yard run by Essien, and the extra point good. It's a statement there to John Walker, and his Red Hawks now have to get going offensively. They have not done much. The Colts had a tough time getting started, and let's see if the Red Hawks now can start to move the ball. Walker looking on a cold night. You see he's bundled up, and a lot of these games that we've done, the last game of the season, have been like this, whether here or at Athens. But I'd have to say this is probably one of the colder ones we've seen. The drive started about midfield, 45-yard line, 8 plays, 3:32 off the clock, and a 4-yard run by Essien capped it off. So the Colts take advantage of the good field position. Now the Red Hawks may get that, as a nice return down the sidelines, and finally out of bounds by Scott Brent. Brent took it at about the 30-yard line and brought it up another 10 yards or so. So they'll start at about the 43-yard line. So good field position for the Red Hawks now, probably the best they've had. Don't forget, coming up in January, we'll have basketball coverage for you. And that's high school and college basketball featuring Oakland University, Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. J.D. Graves takes it himself. The option goes around the end and gains about 5 or 6 on it. We'll see where they mark. So it's the first time we've seen Graves take off himself. Fakes that time to the fullback, Forg, and then saw a little bit of daylight, took off. And a good gain of more than 6, gain of about 7 yards. Graves has 3 receivers split. Now he sends Belanger in motion again. I formation in the backfield. And it's the first man through again. Forg on the carry has the first down, and he's getting more. And a good block to spring him down the sideline by Tim O'Neill. Tim O'Neill got one block down there for spring him for another 10 or 15 yards. And you can see that Forg is thanking his running back.
Gain of 31 yards on that carry.
There you go. Good block there. And there's the block right there. And you'll see here comes 25, O'Neill. And O'Neill will get a good block from right there, and that sprung him for another 10 yards or more. So some big carries tonight for Forg, and that got some big yardage for him. The big running back on this team is O'Neill. He's got 745 yards, and they're leading back. Belanger in motion again, and now movement in the backfield, and that was Forg himself. And this will get called back as the run by Graves will be nullified here. So illegal motion in the backfield as you saw Ford take off. Now, the ironic thing is you saw on the other side, I think it was Adkins who was coming up to the line to show a blitz, and then that set the fullback in motion. So that may have had something to do with it. There you see the sidelines. I think the cheerleaders are just jumping up and down. That's no cheer, folks. That's just to keep warm. See this cheerleader jumping up and down. That was just standing. That was just standing. So they're just trying to stay warm. Forgive my John Madden here. I'm just trying to use this telestrator more than my cohort, Joe Abramson. It's just to show him that it can be used. In motion, Belanger. Back to throw, Graves. And he's got O'Neal over there spinning, and O'Neal tried to get back to the original line of scrimmage. That will be the last play of the quarter as the clock reads 0, and there's some question up here in the press box whether they should even run that play. That will end the first quarter of play, and the Troy Colts lead 7-0. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
And welcome back to Troy High School as we are about to start the second quarter here. The Troy Colts lead 7-0 in a very cold and windy night. Last night being Halloween, and we have had a lot of games that we played this game on Halloween. Last night was Halloween, and that's how it fell this year. Here's the last play of the quarter as Graves goes out in the flat to his back O'Neal. O'Neal now just battling, trying to get it back to the original line of scrimmage, and gets very close to that. In fact, he does, and he got about 5 on that one. So second down and 10 coming up for the Redhawks. Take a look at time of possession so far. The Troy Colts have made the most of it, and they have 7 points to score for to show for that 9-2 in possession. Graves back to throw, and he was hit hard by number 42, and that was McCarthy, DJ McCarthy, getting in there. And that pass wasn't headed anywhere. They had a receiver out there doing a slant in, and had he been able to do a quick pattern and throw quickly, rather, he would have had him. But you see McCarthy, there it is right there. Just get him, and the ball gets loose. But they're calling it an incomplete pass. 3rd and 10 now, and a big down here for the Redhawks as they are close to getting into the end zone, but the Colts have toughened up. Belanger in motion. Graves hands off to the first man through, and they've got him. Nothing there for Forg as he gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and it brings up a big 4th down play and a decision time here for the Redhawks. They're going to go for 3. Yes, they've got the kicking team out. And it looks like the Redhawks will go for 3 points right here. Get anything they can at this point until they can get their offense going. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 27-yard line. Now they move it up to the 26. So a 36-yard attempt now. It is down, and the kick is up, and nothing. A low-line drive that really didn't get anywhere on the attempt by J.D. Graves. Looked like he was trying to get it through, couldn't do it, and the Troy Colts dodge a bullet there and continue to lead 7-0 here in the early going of the second quarter. So the Colts get the ball back, and they started at the 20 in their first possession, got it out to about midfield, and then it just fizzled out on them on their first drive. John Walker looks on as his strategy does not work here. And the Colts get possession again. Patrick on another counter. We saw this before, but tripping him up quickly was Belanger. Clint Belanger getting in there, and he read this one. They ran this earlier going the other way in the first quarter and got some pretty good yardage out of it. But the Red Hawks read it well, and Belanger getting in there and tripping him up by his bootstrings there. Gary Griffith talking to the defense. That's his specialty. And he wants to make sure that his defense continues the shutout here. Patrick goes in motion. I formation in the backfield, handoff to the first man through Zemke. Zemke breaks into the backfield and picks up the first down and more. Zemke in a big carry out across the 36-yard line. So a nice carry there for Zemke. Let's take a look. As it starts out as a simple just off-tackle play, and then he turns it into something here. Gets past a couple of blockers, spinning there. And then finally brought down by Brent. 16 yards on the carry. Patrick in motion. As we just passed the 10-minute mark, they hand off, and not much there. As we saw Zemke again. Gain of maybe a yard, and it'll be 2nd down and 9 coming up. Big rivalry here between these two teams. These players, they have known each other. What happens in the middle school, they get to middle school, and then the schools split off, and then they go to different high schools. So these guys know each other. In the case of Adam Atkins and McCula, they have known each other for a long time. So here we stack it up. And Essien, the big running back, couldn't get anything that time. And a big defensive stand here for the Red Hawks as they stop the Colts in their own territory, and will bring up 3rd and 9. So the Red Hawks stop the Colts here. Look at Essien gets to the line of scrimmage and nothing there. I think the problem was when he left his feet. Couldn't make any kind of a cut. Otherwise, he could have cut maybe outside, bounced out to the right. Scott Brent there, 84. Another guy stopping. Patrick in motion, I formation for Quisenberry. Quisenberry back to throw. Has time, plenty of time. Unloads deep, has his man, Patrick. First down, Colts. Well, all the momentum was going Red Hawks' way when they had them stopped at 3rd and 9, and just like that, the Colts come back and throw a pass. Quisenberry back to throw. A 14-yard reception here by Patrick. The key was Quisenberry had all day, and look at him throw a bullet. And J.D. Graves just hanging on, finally got some help there from Scott Brent. But Patrick, one of the key receivers all season for Quisenberry, comes up big. Colts at midfield. Essien off tackle. Essien down the sidelines and finally bumped out of bounds by Graves.
Tackle made by Graves.
Essien finally bumped out at about the 33-yard line. Let's take a look. Boy, Essien had all day here. Look at him go behind Aaron Miles. Miles with a key block there, and that really springs him as Brent gets out of the play, and then Graves has to bump him out of bounds. But it looked like he did step out of bounds before he got there. But a big block by Aaron Miles, and you see why he's in there on Scott Brent. That's the one that sprung him as he got the defensive end out of the play. Colts. They send 41, Ellison in motion, and they pitch back to Essien. Essien cutting back against the grain, picks up a few extra yards and a nice run there. So the big running back showing some of his moves that time. He's been just straight ahead running all game. Now gets a chance to cut back. Take a look. The pitch goes to the right. Watch him cut back to the left as soon as he gets past the line of scrimmage and follow the line of blockers. He had a wall of blockers this way, and that's the way he went. Second down and about 2 or 3 coming up here. We'll call it 2. I formation, in motion, Patrick. And stacking it up at the line of scrimmage. Good job. No gain that time. Good job by the Red Hawks. And not much there for Zemke. So 3rd down again now for the Colts, and they've got to come up with another conversion here. Last one was a lot tougher.
Come on, Troy.
But any yard right here in this game is going to be tough. Colts came up big in a 3rd and 9 last time. Now 3rd and 2. Power eye right, and they go that way. Essien has it. 1st down inside the 20-yard line. So the Colts on the move again as they go inside the 20, and they smell another 6 points coming. Take a look here as the power eye. They've got 2 backs leading the way. Miles is one of the big guys, and also in there you saw 42, DJ McCarthy, one of the other blocking backs, and Essien just followed those 2 guys for the easy 1st down. Ball just inside the 20. Essien off tackle, cuts it back in. Had a chance to cut outside, but he took it in, and it paid off for him as he finally gets down to the 1-yard line. He just did not quit on that one. And now you see why he is such a workhorse for this team. Let's take a look. Watch the quick cut he makes right here. He decides to cut inside that player right there. And then watch this. He continues to work his way down, does not quit.
Where are you guys from?
And finally, spinning and turning, and he finds his feet at the 1-yard line. So a tremendous gain for Essien. 1st and goal from the 1. Touchdown, Colts. Essien with another touchdown, and there you see Gary Griffith, and things are paying off for him in this one. Let's take a look. Essien again had a 4-yard run last time for the touchdown, and again he follows McCarthy and Miles, and he goes over the top for the touchdown. Extra point attempt by Quisenberry. They fake a double reverse, and it's Essien to throw. He's got Patrick, and they get 2 out of it. Well, there's some razzle-dazzle for the Troy Colts. A team that pretty much does dives all day with Essien comes up with a big play here to get a 2-point conversion. Let's take a look. Patrick has it initially. Fake the kick. Kalbfleisch, and then around to Essien. And Essien then throws to top it off. You think Essien would just run it in, but no. He's got Patrick open. And even though he had 2 Red Hawks on him, Essien decides to throw it for 2 points. So a very successful drive for the Troy Colts. And I think that there's Essien down on the sideline checking his shoulder, or his ribs, right under there. Looks like he's okay as he gives the nod of approval. Rich Perry to do the kicking for the Troy Colts with 5:43 left here in the 2nd. So I say successful drive, not only because of the 6 points, but it's the 2 points that really might take the wind out of the Red Hawks' sails, because that's going to be tough to make up. Now the pressure really on the Red Hawks. Not only do they have to score, they got to get the 2-point conversion on any one of their scores. Perry to kick. It is taken at the 15. Nice return for Uren. John Uren brings it out over across the 25-yard line. They get it at the 32. So a return of about 15 yards, 15, 16 yards. There you see him dodge one block, got 1 block in there, and finally brought down. Scoring drive, 11 plays, 80 yards, 5:22 off the clock, and then the 1-yard run by Essien. Here, taking it outside is O'Neal. Not much there as the Colts stack him up. Red Hawks have to come up with a score here. They need one before halftime, and with the time on the clock left, I think that's about what's going to take up the rest of the quarter, would be a drive from here. 2nd and 7 now. Approaching the 5-minute mark, and just under that now. Time running out on the Red Hawks here in the first half, as they need a big drive here, and almost an interception there. The pass intended down there for, can't see the other number, looked like 22. It is 22. Here's the pass, and a good job by number 3, Kalbfleisch, to break it up, and almost coming up with the interception before it hit the ground. The Colts would have come up big there. So the pass was intended for Tim DiCarlo, number 22. 3rd down now. And in motion, Belanger, offsides, or rather illegal motion on the offense there. And that's going to hurt the Red Hawks, as it'll knock them back from that point. It is illegal procedure on the offense. They will knock it back 5 yards. It'll be a 3rd and about 12 coming up. There you see penalty yards. Athens and Troy even, and the penalties 1 apiece, 5 yards apiece. Graves steps up. Graves has to shake off one tackler, throws downfield, and it's up for grabs. And in and out of the hands of Durda, Brian Durda. He couldn't believe that he had such a shot at it because the Red Hawks receiver went down. Let's take a look. Graves does a nice job even just trying to get this off here as the pressure gets to him. He'll get it from both sides here, then steps up, and now will shake off one tackler there and just throws it off balance, actually. And now it's up for grabs as it hangs in the air. And right there, it went out of the hands of Durda. It was intended again for Tim DiCarlo. Punting down now for the Red Hawks. And a disappointing series there, as they really needed a big drive. And now the punt is shanked, and the Colts are actually going to get it inside the 40-yard line. And I'm talking the inside the 40-yard line of the Red Hawks. The ball is out to about the 37-yard line. So you talk about great field position to start a drive. And as convincing as the Colts looked on that 80-yard drive, they're going to have a short drive here. And it looks like the Red Hawks are going to really have to toughen up here. John Walker looking on, and he knows that Gary Griffith's team can just put it away here, really. Although, when you look at the Red Hawks, they did score 38 points last week against Lake Orion. But the Colt defense is not the kind of defense to give up 38 points. And not on a cold night like tonight. I formation, pro set receivers. Quisenberry hands off to Essien. Essien off tackle, breaks into the backfield, shakes off 2 tacklers, and finally dives forward across the 20-yard line.
19-yard line.
There you see Essien, and his power is the stiff arm there. Broke him loose. Let's take a look. And nothing fancy again as they go. Handoff on the left side, but then come back across the right, and he breaks into the backfield. And watch that stiff arm there, right to the helmet on both players, and finally diving down inside the 20-yard line. Essien 18 carries for 126 yards already, well over the 1,000 mark on the season now. Throw, and a nice one. Patrick, touchdown. 20 yards. Quisenberry with a perfect throw to Patrick. And that is the thing that'll put a team away quickly. On a first down, to go to the air and strike a touchdown, that is like lightning, folks. And that's going to hurt the Red Hawks there. Drew Patrick on the touchdown. Look at Quisenberry just throw this one up perfectly. He led him right in stride. Perfect spiral and an easy catch here. Look at this. Right in stride, didn't have to wait for it. And Patrick is in on the 20-yard reception. Extra point is up. And it is good. And the Troy Colts with a 3-touchdown commanding lead, 22-0, here with 4:05 left in the second quarter. Well, it was 15-0, and Athens really had to get a drive going. They didn't. And what's worse is they couldn't get a punt off to get the Colts out of their territory. The punt was shanked, and they picked it up at the 36 of Athens. And the Colts took advantage of it. You see fans trying to keep warm in this one. And the Red Hawks are cold. They are ice cold here as they look at the scoreboard. But you see the Colts, they are up. They are fired up. 22-0 they lead. The Colts over the Red Hawks. 2 plays. The big run by Essien and then the touchdown pass to Patrick. 2 plays, 37 yards, 28 seconds off the clock. So you had a drive that took 5 minutes, and then you have one that takes 28 seconds. And the kickoff. Rich Perry to kick. And it bounces off the shoulder pads of Uren, and he has to fall on it across the 15-yard line to about the 18. So the ball at the 18-yard line, and that is where the Red Hawks start. Deep in their own territory. It's not getting any better for them, as they could have used a nice return to get some good field position with 4 minutes left here in this quarter. 22-0 the score. And don't forget to tune in the Master Anglers program Thursday night at 8 right here on TCI 63. Handoff and a nice run, and this is what the Red Hawks can use right now. A little bit of breathing room, and they get it from O'Neal. Tim O'Neal with 104 carries coming into this game and 745 yards, 7 touchdowns for him. Comes up big here, and they could have used that one. Spinning and finally brought down, and a big carry for O'Neal to get the Red Hawks deep out of their territory. A 20-yard gain for O'Neal. First down, ball at the 38-yard line, 37-yard line, excuse me, of Athens. And again, it's O'Neal. O'Neal breaks into the backfield and gains about 7 or 8 yards. So O'Neal now trying to get the Red Hawks back in this one. And they finally starting to use him. They were using the big fullback, Forg, and now they use the quickness of O'Neal. So you kind of wonder, where was O'Neal earlier? They used him on a couple of pass plays.
Let's go!
Second down now, short yardage, 2:59 and counting in this one here in the second quarter. Fake to the first man. Graves pitches out to O'Neal, and he is going to be buried in a sea of black. A loss on the play. It'll bring up third and about 5 coming up. Let's take a look. Graves, not a good fake there, as they go right at him. And then O'Neal is just a dead duck out there, as you've got 4 Colts, and then finally a 5th Colt in there to get him down. 3rd and 5. Red Hawks need a big third down conversion here. In motion, Belanger. Graves. Hands off to O'Neal. O'Neal hit almost immediately when he got the ball, and they got him by the ankle and they wouldn't let go. In there was number 26, Gratton, Brian Gratton, on the tackle. And it's 4th down and about 4. 4th and 3. Right there. And a punting down for the Red Hawks. So a punting down now for the Red Hawks. They need a good punt here. There isn't that much time left for the Colts, but you saw how quickly they could strike. Punt they do get a good one off. Out to about the 20-yard line. Patrick dropped it, and then he has finally dropped it at the 25. So the Colts back in their own territory, and a good punt that time by McCullough. And a problem with the scoreboard now. As the scoreboard has gone out, time will have to be kept down on the field with only 1 minute left. And the refs are calling timeout down on the field. You see the scoreboard, the power went out, and they're trying to get things situated. 1:11, I believe, is what they're saying is left. So the scoreboard is out, and they're going to try to figure out the time down there.
1 minute, 11 seconds.
22-0 the score. And 1:11 left here in the second quarter, if you could hear what we're trying to get the message down there.
The A is out, that's out.
This is the TCI Game of the Week here at Troy High School. Don't forget to tune into Oakland Press Perspective with your host, Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe, every Friday night at 8:30 right here on TCI 63. And a pause in the action as you see a pretty good turnout here. It always is when these two teams go at it. The Battle of Troy, the Colts against the Red Hawks. Tonight, a very cold one. And these two teams very successful this year, coming in with 6-2 records. And they're going to keep the clock down on the field with 1:11 left. Patrick goes in motion. Quisenberry turns and hands off to the first man through, Zemke. Zemke with a gain of about 4. Take a look. Zemke getting some playing time in there tonight and getting some carries and doing a pretty good job. Following his backs. And a pretty good gain of 4 yards there. Actually gave him a generous mark. 2nd and 6. Handoff Patrick. Patrick following his block. And then finally getting brought down about a couple yards short of the first down. A 3rd and 1. Actually, pretty good gain here. Gain about 5 here for Patrick. Patrick a little bit hung up there on the handoff, but then gets past one tackler and then finally brought down. Eluded the first tackler, who was Chris Fair. So 3rd and 1 for the Colts, and the clock being kept down on the field, and they may just end it. That's it. As that was the last play of the first half. And the Troy Colts go into halftime with a very comfortable lead, 22-0 over their rivals across town. And Gary Griffith talking down on the field to the referees. And he's got to be happy. The Colts 22 and the Troy Athens Red Hawks nothing. We're at halftime. We'll be back with more right after this.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn.
It's the way you learn.
The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book, and by Bell Tire.
Welcome back to Troy High School. Dave Zorin with you here. And the Battle of Troy, the Troy Colts taking on the Troy Athens Red Hawks. The Colts lead 22-0. And let's take a look at the scoring here in this first half. The scoring started on this 4-yard run by Essien. He was a workhorse in that drive, took him all the way down there, and then finished it off with that 4-yard run back in the first quarter. And that was the only scoring we saw in the first quarter. Then Essien came back with this 1-yard dive to make the score at that point 13-0. And then the extra point. Patrick to Kalfleisch, and then back around to Essien, and then Essien, not running, decides to throw it, and he finds Patrick in there for the 2-point conversion. And at that point, it was 15-0. Then on this 2-play drive, this is the second play of the drive, Quisenberry with a beautiful pass finds Patrick in stride for the touchdown. And just beautiful placement on that pass by Quisenberry, and that's the scoring. The halftime stats for you: passing 5 for Athens, 34 for Troy, and usually that's the other way around. Rushing 93, 165 for Troy, and it's 98 to 199 total yards. First downs, Troy leads the way on their drives, and Athens really has had some problems on their drives. Turnovers, 1 for Athens. We saw them early on in the first quarter. And then time of possession, just totally dominated by Troy. 16 minutes and 10 seconds to 7:50 for Athens. So that pretty much tells the story there. We're still at halftime. The score, 22-0 in favor of the Troy Colts. We'll be back with second half action right after these messages. Stay with us.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this: $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology.
Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this.
Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more.
The competition can't.
Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't.
They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
Welcome back to the TCI Game of the Week. We're in Troy High School, where the Troy Athens Red Hawks trying to battle back against the Troy Colts. They were shut out in the first half, and the Troy Colts looked very tough in that first half. Their defense has basically shut down any kind of drive that the Red Hawks have put on here, and anytime they got close to the end zone, the Colts got tougher. So the Colts will kick off to Athens, as Athens won the toss to start the game and deferred to the second half, so they will get it to start the second half here. And if there's any good time to get a kickoff, it'd be right now. They coming out of the locker room, getting fired up, and they need it right now. A cold wind continues to blow very strong here, and the temperatures have dropped into the teens with the wind chill. A high kick and a short one, and it's taken by the Red Hawks and downed immediately inside the 30-yard line, about the 34. So not bad field position for the Red Hawks. That could almost work as an onside kick for Rich Perry. When the teams are coming right out of the locker room, they don't expect a kick like that, and it's up for grabs. But the Red Hawks come up and do the right thing with it. J.D. Graves sends Belanger in motion. Hand off to the tailback, O'Neal. O'Neal breaks free. O'Neal into the backfield, still on his feet and finally brought down at midfield.
O'Neal across the midfield, straight to the...
Big run for O'Neal. Gain of about 17 yards. Take a look here as O'Neal stumbling here and then breaks the tackle right there, cuts back, and then from behind gets caught by number 55, Adam Atkins. Belanger in motion again. Graves on the handoff to O'Neal. O'Neal trying to sneak through, gains a couple of yards, and finally down. Second and long coming up. Well, some good news tonight for the Troy Colts. Let's watch this replay and we'll tell you about it. As O'Neal gains a couple of yards here as they stop him. The junior, 5'6", 165. Not a big player, but he is quick. For the Troy Colts tonight already, they are halfway into the playoffs as Henry Ford has lost. And now you have to see what Catholic Central does against Brother Rice. The pass intended for O'Neal, and he gets hit by Essien immediately. So off the fingertips of O'Neal, and Essien is there to stop it. Let's take a look as the Redhawks still trying to get their offense in sync. Let's take a look. There's the pass out there, and just, I don't know, if you saw it that way, it looked like he could have had it and should have, but he heard the big footsteps of Jim Essien behind him. Again, not a big receiver in O'Neal if you send him out, 5'6". Actually about my height. In motion, Belanger. Coming back around. Graves cuts up. Graves looks like he'll have to take off with it, and finally brought down, gain of nothing as the Colts toughen up, and it's a fourth down for the Redhawks. So the Colts don't lose anything coming back here in the second half, and they continue their tough defense. Graves initially right here looked like he wanted to throw, then took off, and it looked like he might have tried to get out in the open to throw again, but they just didn't open, just didn't happen for him, and he finally got brought down as you see him on the sideline. John Walker looking on. Walker and Griffith have a very good relationship. They have a camp together in the summer and get these two teams together. It goes beyond this game. The punt goes out well ahead of where it went out, or landed, I should say. It goes out at about the 32-yard line. So the Colts get pretty good field position now with 9:51 left here in the third quarter. Colts have had some very good drives. They've had one 80 yards. They've had a few short ones that they've capitalized on. And some mistakes by the Redhawks. This one starting now at the 33-yard line. Essien pounding the ball off tackle and brought down there by number 58, big 58, Chris Fair. We've called his number quite a bit for the Redhawks already. Take a look at Essien again, off tackle, trying to follow his blockers, and there Fair getting in right away. At halftime, Essien statistics, pretty good. 18 carries, 126, 2 touchdowns, as he continues to build his numbers impressively. And only a junior. Zemke hit at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. So the Colts now, as you take a look at Quisenberry's stats, 2 of 4, 34 yards, and a very impressive touchdown pass to Drew Patrick as he led him perfectly into the end zone. You saw it again at halftime. What a beautiful pass it was. There you see Patrick, 2 receptions, 34 yards, and the recipient of the touchdown pass. Those are halftime stats again. And he has not caught one this half, so they are up to date. 3rd and 7. Actually, about 6. The throw complete, and it looks like the Colts pick up the first down. Complete out there to the tight end, Bullock. Mark Bullock, the junior. So some big players coming back next year for the Colts. Let's take a look at Quisenberry going to the air. Quisenberry very effective to the air tonight. Let's see. Nice pass. Gets it right in there for him. No chance for an interception. I formation. Patrick in motion coming towards you. Hand off to the first man through. Zemke. Zemke gains a pretty good amount there. A gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 coming up. Nice carry by Zemke. Quick opener. Almost had trouble getting that handoff off for Quisenberry. Zemke was there, held on, and gained about 7 yards. Actually 6. 2nd and 4. As they mark it back. Handoff to Essien. Essien spinning at the line of scrimmage and gets a couple more after that spin. So it'll be 3rd and short yardage coming up. 3rd and about 2. Let's take a look. Essien, nothing there really, and then at the line of scrimmage manages to spin away and gain a few yards just falling down. It's that tremendous offensive surge by that line. The big line of the Troy Colts. 3rd and 2. Essien tripped up in the backfield but picks up the first down. Kind of stumbled a little bit in the backfield, but then got his footing back and picked up the first down and more. Ball now inside the 45 at the 44 of the Red Hawks. And the Troy Colts just eating up the clock, and it looks like they're on their way for another 6. Troy Colts showing us offensively what they can do, and defensively their strength by shutting out the Red Hawks so far. Last week, different story. Faced a very tough Wolves team, the Clarkston Wolves here. Essien, you see him do that spin again to try to get a few more yards out of it, and he does. Every time he does, gains at least a couple more. Gain of about 3, 2nd and 7 coming up now. Zemke comes off, and the play brought in by Aaron Miles. So Aaron Miles, the fullback, in there now ahead of Essien. Patrick in motion, coming to the bottom of the screen. Essien, the pitch back, follows Miles, and every time they bring Miles in, watch for him. That's why he's there, to block ahead of Essien. They gain a few on it, about 4, and it'll be 3rd. Actually, a gain of about 3, and now it'll be 3rd and 4. 5:35 left here in the 3rd quarter. There's the big guy, Petrosky, Derek Petrosky coming off. And you see the coaching staff looking on. Essien, not going to be enough for the first. It'll be 4th and short yardage, and the Troy Colts will probably go for it here with the ball at about the 36. Let's take a look as the Red Hawks do a good job of stacking this up. Now, he gains some initial yardage, and then it just closes in on him as the Red Hawks converge. 4th down, and he really didn't gain that much. 4th down. And about, well, a long 2 here. Call it 2 or 3. Let's go, so, long 2. Power eye right, watch for it to go right. And watch for Essien to get it. They try to draw him off sides. They go right with Essien. Essien close to the first down, and we'll see where they mark it. They may get a measurement out here on this.
Essien carries the ball.
Let's take a look. That's where they go now. They brought in Aaron Miles and McCarthy, and they go that way. The 2 big blocking backs ahead of Essien.
Tonight's game is the TCI
and let's see if they do need a measurement. They do.
Tomorrow and Monday at 8 o'clock.
Now limping is McCarthy. McCarthy goes in there not to carry the ball, but to block for Essien, and he comes up limping.
First down.
And it was enough to get the first down. So Aaron Miles and McCarthy do their job. 11 plays, 34 yards so far on this drive, and 5:32 off the clock. Already 5:32. As you see, McCarthy going off, and they're going to need him in there defensively, so they want him to hurry up and get ready. Handoff. Zemke, not much there, as the Redhawks drive him back into the backfield. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. There's Zemke. Quick handoff to him. And just stacked up right there. Good job right there by number 54, Molessa. So Steve Molessa getting in there. There he is on the stop. Gary Griffith looking on. Second and 10. In motion, Patrick. Handoff, Essien. Essien cuts back up the middle. Essien in a nice carry gets close to the first down.
Essien down to the 25.
It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up as Essien falls short by about a yard. Nice carry here. Take a look as he gets the ball to the right and then cuts right back upfield. There he goes, right up the middle, and saw some room up there. And the Colts continue to do some of that fine blocking that's springing Essien for those carries. He's had some big carries of about 8 or 9 yards on a number of occasions. This time, the Redhawks do a great job in toughening up on the 3rd and short yardage, and they stack him up at the line of scrimmage. But where did he fall, and where do they mark it? That's what we're waiting on now. And they may get another measurement here. And they will. They're going to measure again. They may have stopped him again, but according to where the chains are and where we're looking and where the ball is, it looks like he did pick up the first down. If the lines are straight. We talked about that last time with Joe Abramson. Now my good friend Don Francis, keeping the scoreboard here, says, yeah, if the lines are straight, and apparently they are, so the Colts do pick up the first down. Zemke brings in the play for the Colts as they are on their way again and smelling another 6 points and eating up a lot of the clock. Only 2:30 left here in the 3rd quarter. Handoff, Zemke. This time, Zemke comes up with some nice yards before finally being brought down by Uren in the backfield. John Uren, number 7, getting him by his feet. 2nd down, about 4, gain of about 6. A little over 6. There you see Zemke, 9 carries, 44 yards. So not a bad night for him. Patrick in motion. Handoff, Essien. Essien hit right at the line of scrimmage and loses yardage. Getting in there quickly, and we called his number before. It's Molessa. Molessa playing fired up on this drive.
T-R-O-Y-C-O-L-T-S.
And that spells Troy Colts. That's right.
T-R-O-Y-C.
Let's take a look again. Now Essien goes right behind Zemke. Zemke not enough to block those two guys. And getting him underneath was Belanger, and getting him up top was Molessa. So both guys got in there that time for the Redhawks, and it knocked him back. So a loss on the play brings up a big 3rd down and 5 here. Quisenberry to throw, has time, has Patrick in his hands and out of bounds. He's got the first down. It was tipped off 2 Redhawks defenders, and Patrick hung on to it. Now, I'm not sure if it hit both defenders back there, but Patrick has been double covered all night. Let's see what happens. Quisenberry rolls out, has time, throwing across, actually throwing back. And one tip, okay, there it is. It was Patrick who tipped it himself the second time and gave himself a chance to catch it, and did get it inbounds inside the 5-yard line at the 3. Drew Patrick, nice yards there, 50 yards on 3 receptions. Essien trying to get away, and he couldn't do it. Molessa got him that time again. Steve Molessa playing fired-up football here on this drive, has been on a lot of tackles, and he is the captain out there defensively, so that shows you why he's leading. The senior calling the defensive signals in there for the Red Hawks. And he stopped the big running back right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 3, and seconds ticking down here in the third quarter, I should say, in the second half. As Essien is stacked up again at the line of scrimmage. And Molessa is there again. So Essien stopped on 2 attempts, and he'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 now. Let's take a look again, as Essien gets hit originally right there, and it looks like Molessa again. Not positive, couldn't see the number there. The 3 Red Hawks players getting in there, and a timeout down on the field as the Colts talk this one over. Clock stopped with 3 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. And it has been a cold night here and a windy night. And that flag is pretty much stuck straight out there. But I don't know. I don't think it's letting up at all. The director said it might be. I don't think so, Pat Collar. I think that is still a frigid wind out there, bringing the temperature down into the teens. Although you see Gary Griffith right here, he looks very comfortable with this cold weather. Roadshow video, Thursday at 9 p.m. right here on TCI 63. Don't forget to tune in for that. These are remnants of the Renaissance Festival, as you see Pat Collar here and Bubba Wicker right there. And there is Bubba Wicker. Remnants of Halloween, as Bubba Wicker is still trying to scare us out here. I'll tell you, that mask probably keeping him warm. Here we go. 3rd and 3. Quisenberry trying to take it around the end, and does he get in? No. Short of the end zone on the last play of the 3rd quarter. And we'll go to 4th down. All the way down on the other end of the field. The score at the end of 3. The Troy Colts 22. The Athens Red Hawks nothing. We'll be back with 4th quarter action right after this.
I'm the king.
The rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gauthier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my market share coupon book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Welcome back to Troy High School. Let's take a look at the last play of the 3rd quarter. Quisenberry, not much of a fake there to Essien, but he's trying to beat everyone to the corner now. Looks like he's got some daylight, but it just closes in. Everybody catches up to him here. And good coverage down there by number 72, Mark Fleming, for the Red Hawks to catch him. Now the Troy Colts have just, there you see Fleming. The Troy Colts have just dominated that 3rd quarter as we now head into the 4th. This is the 20th play of the drive. And the time of possession is... Actually, what did they have there in the 3rd quarter? 2:09 only for Athens. So all of the time really going to the Colts. Here's Essien, touchdown. On the 20th play of the drive, and a big, impressive drive it was. Essien gets in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Let's take a look right down the line of scrimmage. Essien. Yep. He got in from the referee's angle. We were a little bit off into the end zone. There he is. And let's see where he get in. Right there, probably broke the plane. And again, we're looking back at it, so we don't have the referee's angle. But they were there. 2 refs marked it, and he was in. Touchdown. And while we were away, the extra point was good. So we have a roughing the kicker penalty. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. So the extra point was good, and we have a 29-0 score as Essien scores on his third touchdown, and Coach John Walker looking on. 20 plays on the drive, 68 yards, and the most impressive 9:54 off the clock. And we told you that the Redhawks only had it for 2 minutes in that third quarter. 2:09, that's all they had it for in the 1-yard run by Essien. So you talk about how do you win a football game, you just don't let the other team have the ball. That's what the Troy Colts did in that third quarter. As we start the fourth quarter, Troy Colts now, as we talked about both teams, if they were to win, have a chance of getting into the high school playoffs. The Troy Colts, now, we can talk about them more so than the Redhawks with the score 29-0. They had, Henry Ford had to lose, and the word is they did lose today, earlier. And Catholic Central has to lose to Brother Rice. So that is the remaining factor in the equation for the Troy Colts. And we got Mr. Markowski's word on Henry Ford earlier. We thank you, sir, for that. And the Troy Colts have some hope here. Let's take a look on the return. Here's the return by Ford, or excuse me. That was Harambasic. Vince Harambasic, and the return. In motion, Belanger for Graves. Graves takes a step back and will take the option, takes it himself. Nice carry. We haven't seen him do that too much tonight. He's basically been handing off and really hasn't been passing too much. So they've pretty much kept J.D. Graves in check tonight. Take a step back, the fake, and then the option outside. Didn't even look for a pitch, tried to take it himself as he cuts up. And then finally brought down. Looked like Fakuri out there. And correction, number 32 was out there also. Essien. Long night for the Redhawks, as they really just couldn't get anything going offensively. Now they try to do it here in the fourth quarter. Graves, back to throw. Has his man open, he's got Belanger, and they come up with a big first down. So this is the first time that we've really seen an effective pass play by the Redhawks. They really haven't concentrated on it. Clint Belanger on the reception, take a look. Double drop back. Nice job by Graves. Nice bullet pass. And then finally brought down to finish up the tackle was Aaron Miles, 52. Redhawks with some breathing room now across to the 42-yard line. Hand off to Forg, and Forg comes up big with about a 4 or 5 yard gain. So a nice carry there for Forg. Haven't called his number too much because the Redhawks haven't really had the ball. Here's Graves, hand off, first man. Forg muscles his way. Tried to spin out of the tackle by Jestick. Mark Jestick on the tackle, and down on the field it looks like it could be Forg. Let's see. Can't see the number, but I believe it is Forg, the running back.
It's on TCI channel.
It's not Ford. 71, and he gets up on his own power, so that's good news. It was actually Eric Peterson, number 71, and that is good news as he gets off on his own power, so good sign there for the Redhawks. Jerry Griffith, successful night so far for his team as they have shut out the Redhawks, and really that third quarter was played to perfection as they just ate up the clock and took a 20-play drive into the end zone for 7 points. Redhawks trying to get a good drive going here, trying to pick up some momentum. Fumble as they tried to hand off to Forg, and he just took off. Graves was slow and late in getting the handoff to him. Yeah, I'm not putting any blame on anybody, but it just should not have let go of that ball. Recovered down there by the Redhawks, so that's a break for them. Let's take a look again. Now, you see Forg just blow by, and he wasn't even accepting the ball. That's the problem. Graves was giving it to him, but Forg's arms were up in the air. He wasn't even looking for the ball. So a little miscommunication on who was going to get the ball on that handoff. 3rd and 1, nonetheless. The ball did go forward, and it's 3rd and 1 now. Forg gets it, and this time he shows some big speed as he bursts through for the first down and more inside the 45-yard line down to the 43.
Athens now has the ball, 1st and 10, ball was at the Colt 43.
So the big drive here by Athens, but it's not helping them as they're eating up a lot of the clock themselves. And the Colts are saying, hey, that's fine. If you're going to eat up the clock, continue to have it. But they're going to toughen up down near the end zone. Graves sends Belanger in motion. Fake to the first man through. Graves throwing deep. And a pair of number 20s down there. And it goes off the helmet of Durda. Durda was down there and also was intended really for Chet Miller. So Chet Miller became a defender, really trying to bring him down. We have a flag down, and it looks like it may be against the Colts. Now watch. We didn't see anything happen to Graves, but it was a roughing the passer. There you see as Chet Miller became the defender that time, but it didn't matter now as we've got a roughing the passer call on the Troy Colts. So that is a big penalty. It's a tack on 15 yards and a first down automatically for the Redhawks here with 8:27 left here in the ball game. Redhawks looking for their first score. Everybody's coming. Good blocking by the Redhawks, and they've got a screen pass out to O'Neal, and O'Neal manages to get about 4 or 5 out of it. But the Colts showed blitz that time. Looked like everybody was coming in, and Graves was able to audible off that and call the right play. Let's take a look. Talked to John Walker before the game. Graves gets a chance to audible, and he saw everybody coming in, so he called this one. And he came up big with a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6. A lot to cheer about on the Troy side. Athens needs their first score right now. Graves to the air again. Belanger first down. So the short patterns seem to be working for the Redhawks. You can look back and say, why didn't they do this earlier? Well, the game wasn't 29-0 earlier, and it may have been tougher to throw those. So you may get a relaxed Colt defense back there, letting them throw these underneath passes. Nice pass, good bullet pass to Belanger in his 2nd reception. 1st and 10, ball at about the 15-yard line. Graves to throw again. This is deflected and almost caught by the lineman, number 55, Dan Getz. Is it 55 or 65? Let's take a look and see. Who blocked it? Looks like Essien got in there. Yes, Essien blocked the pass. And it's 65, actually. Not Getz, but Dentry, Nick Dentry, that almost had a chance to get his first complete pass thrown to him. There, the fans still bundled up. It is not getting any warmer out there, folks. 2nd and 10. Graves handing off to Forg, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Well, they gave him a little gain. He did fall forward for a few yards. A gain of maybe a 2. See what they mark it. Looking, seeing where the ball is and where the marker is, I think there's a big difference. So. There's Ford, 8 carries, 72 yards, so he's been a busy guy. Not bad stats for him. 3rd and 7 now. Graves to throw. Ford trying to beat the defense and does. Ford, touchdown. A good block in the backfield, and Ford just running past the blockers as they were trying to hold off the Colts. And timing really made that play work. If we take a look at the replay, just a great job by Ford to just burst through. And you'll see one blocker going against 3 Colts and just running right by him. Right here, coming up to the left of your screen, right there, you'll see 3 Colts get tied up. And just a matter of timing, good timing by Graves in getting the ball to Ford for the touchdown. They're going for 2. Graves to the air, has time. He was buying time, throws back across, and it's incomplete. But the Redhawks finally do get on the board.
The Athens touchdown, 16-yard pass.
Borg on the pass from Graves, and it's 29-6 now. So the Redhawks eat up a good hunk of that clock, 6:29 left. But it took them some time to get that drive. Now look for the onside kick from the Redhawks. As you see, Walker had his team over there trying to talk about what to do. Colts cheerleaders. Actually just trying to keep warm probably by getting on the sideline there. There you see it, 11 plays, 75 yards, 5:28 off the clock. And again, they ate up a lot of that clock to get in there, and 14 yards on the reception by Ford. There you see Ford. And the Redhawks to kick off. It'll be J.D. Graves, number 11, the quarterback. Does everything on this team. And they go for the onside. It's a good hop, and that is an onside kick you'll like, but look at it. Essien, the guy you want to get it. Touchdown. 52 yards for Essien. Jim Essien, 52 yards on the return. And look at this. It's a good onside kick, a great bounce. And right here, nobody on the Redhawks wants to touch it. And it goes right into the hands of the Colts. Essien, nobody in front of him. And he is gone 52 yards for the touchdown. So Essien not only getting it offensively, but now getting that kickoff return. The extra point is good. So the Colts, everything bouncing their way, get another few points on the board, and it's 35-6. So just as the Redhawks come back, the Troy Colts get it. Yeah, 36-6. Now it has changed on the scoreboard. 36-6. We talk about a fired up Troy Colts sideline. You'd think they would know that Henry Ford lost today, and I think they do, and they're waiting now for the Catholic Central score this weekend. So by the time this is shown, everything will all be settled. But the Troy Colts making a great effort to try to get it in there, maybe with points. There you see Rich Perry to do the kicking. Perry to kick off, and I bet he didn't think he'd be out there kicking off this early. Well, the Colts did it before. They had a big drive that ate about 6 minutes off the clock, and then came back, scored in 28 seconds. This time, they had a 20-play drive and came back and scored right there in the kickoff. Look at this. Uren on the return. Across the 40, across the 45, and finally brought down. A 33-yard return for Uren. And the senior with a nice return to get the Redhawks in good field position. Let's take a look at the return. 33 yards for Uren. Squirting through there, gets past one. Gets past another, and then another, and finally inside the 45-yard line, the 46-yard line. There you see Uren on the sideline. Graves to throw, outside, complete, and a nice reception, and continuing to go down the line there was Chet Miller. So he stops the clock with 6:05. So they're doing the down and out patterns, using the clock effectively here. Nice job. Nice pass there by Graves. And a nice job by Miller to stay in bounds as he continues to go and then finally steps out. 1st and 10, ball at the 37-yard line. Pass back across and complete to Mikula. Eric Mikula comes up with a reception.
On the tackle for Troy, 52.
Gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 coming up.
Gain of 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Let's take a look at Graves going to the air effectively now in this drive. Finds Mikula here. Now back to live action and throwing and just trying to get it out in desperation before being sacked is Graves. There's Quisenberry on the sideline. Actually, standing next to Goodlow. I see Graves getting up slowly. And another Athens Redhawk down. So the Redhawks feeling the pain now of the weather and with the pause in the action. The Troy Colts 36, Athens 6. We'll be right back right after this.
Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63.
And welcome back to Troy High School. The Redhawks just ran a short dive play, not much on it. It'll bring up 4th and 1. 4th and 1. Here's the play on the dive by Forg. As he gains a little bit, but nice job by the Colts. Almost got a face mask, if anything, down there. And a timeout down on the field called by the Redhawks. They want to talk this over. They'd like to get some more points on the board. Troy cheerleaders in bunches trying to stay warm. Normally you see the guys in the end zone piling up on top of each other. Now you've got the Redhawks trying to pick up a first down here. It's 4th and more than a yard. I'd say about 2 yards coming up here, and a long call here. Don't forget to tune in January. High school and college basketball coming your way right here on TCI Sports. Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. as we continue our sports coverage on those nights. And the Red Hawks are ready to go. They're in position. The coach still on the sideline talking to Gary Griffith, who takes care of the defense. Fourth and 2. Red Hawks. Hand off to O'Neal. O'Neal picks up the first down. O'Neal following the block of Forg, and he gets through for the first down. Let's take a look. You'll see there goes Forg first, and just around the outside of Forg goes O'Neal for the first down. And they're going to the no-huddle offense here as Graves will call the plays at the line of scrimmage. Graves back to throw. Cuts up into the pocket and finally brought down by the Colt defense. Getting in there quickly, 66 for the Colts. James Tomey. Let's take a look. Tomey gets in there first. Right there has him in the grasp. And also number 85 in there, of course. As we take a look, throwing outside and complete to Mikula. He'll not get the first down as they get back across the original line of scrimmage. And still a few yards short, about 3rd and 6 coming up. Let's take a look. Mikula trying to, not holding that ball in a good way right there, but still doesn't get in trouble because of it. Graves to throw. Graves right down the middle of the field to Mikula again and off his fingertips. In and out of the hands of Mikula. Stops the clock with 3:50. Take a look quick. Boy, you see a sea of black linemen coming right at you there. The Colt linemen. And you've got to get rid of it. And you can see this is not the typical weather that we have at the end of the season here. Well, you know, you do expect some cold weather, but in the teens that's January weather. That's basketball weather where we're inside, as we mentioned our basketball schedule. 4th and 7 coming up now. 3:50 left on the clock here in this 4th quarter. Graves to throw, has time, and he sees a sea of green in front of him, and he'll take off and run for the first down. And he does the smart thing by going out of bounds. Stops the clock with 3:40. So a rejuvenated offense here for the Red Hawks. 2 drives now, and they're getting close to the end zone again. Let's take a look. Graves saw a lot of green in front of him and took off. Eludes one tackler there, and that was Aaron Miles, and then finally took off and got out of bounds. First down and goal from the 6-yard line. Graves to throw again, right down the middle of the field, and intercepted? No. No signal of interception. Almost intercepted down there by Kalfleisch. Let's take a look. Did he catch this? Graves gunning it, trying to force it, and Kalfleisch is there, and it did hit the ground. Good call by the ref, as he was right there to see it. There you see Kalfleisch right in the middle of the screen. Off to the left, I should say. There he is. Good coverage. 2nd and goal from the 6. Graves gets the pressure and finally was brought down quickly there. That time it was 66. Tomey on the tackle. Let's take a look. Tomey coming around the end, straight at him. And he got some help there, too, by number 26, Grattan. So the loss brings him back across to the 11-yard line. So 3rd and 11 to get into that end zone. 3rd and goal from the 11. Graves, bullet pass in there, touchdown. Oh, he had to thread the needle. He had 2 defenders Yelnich back there, got it past him and right into the hands of Chet Miller. So Graves threads the needle here to Miller. Take a look. He threw it quickly. A bullet right past Yelnich, and there was nothing at that point Durda could do as he was in the end zone. So the Colts have let Athens score twice here on 2 possessions. Graves looking for 2. Graves trying to get away and throws one up for grabs, and he's got it. Complete to Belanger. And that was desperation, but he did the right thing in leading Belanger into the corner, and he got the 2 points. So a big break there. Let's take a look as you'll see Graves just scramble for life here, and even the ref gets involved in this play. Graves spun around here by Appledorn and then gets pressure, and the ref is trying to run away too. And he just throws it up for grabs, and there Belanger just has an edge on positioning over David Price. So a big break there. And you see Graves as they get their 2-point conversion, and it makes the score 36-14 now. Graves to kick again. Watch again for that onside kick. He had a beautiful onside kick last time, but none of the Red Hawks went for the ball. They all sat there and watched Essien pick it up for the touchdown. Take a look. See what the Red Hawks can do. This one not as good. A straight line drive, and it went right into the hands of Joe Weston. So that one didn't take a fortunate bounce. The last one had a real high bounce to it. This one goes straight into the hands of Joe Weston. And no chance there for the Red Hawks to come up with that. You might sometimes try to bang it off one of the big linemen, but they had some good hands down there. Weston, a lineman, but some good hands. 12 plays, 54 yards, 3:27 off the clock, and the 11-yard reception by Miller for the touchdown. The pitch going back to the new Colt running back, Steve Franks in there. Franks, a junior, getting some playing time. Let's take a look. Franks getting some blocking out ahead of him by Kissia, Matt Kissia, but see a lot of Red Hawks getting back there and stopping him, along with Durda, or excuse me, number 20, Chet Miller. Gary Griffith, a little vocal after that touchdown, or the 2-point conversion, to the referee, so he wasn't too happy with his defense giving up that touchdown. Handoff to the first man through, and the Red Hawks stack him up. It was Kissia on the carry. And the clock at 1:55 and counting down now in this one. So the Colts trying to just run this out. Tom Kalbfleisch in there at quarterback. 5'11" junior. Also doing a good job defensively back there. There's the score, 36-14. Colts trying to run this one out. On the carry was Steve Franks again, and not much that time. Got back across the original line of scrimmage. And it'll be 4th down and a timeout called by the Red Hawks. They want to get the ball back with 1:10 left. We're in the 4th quarter, 1:10 left in this one, and we'll be back right after this.
I wrote a letter to TCI because of the kind service and the kindness that was given to me when we needed service. I'm a district manager for Family Dollar stores here in Detroit and Pontiac. And being a district manager over 16 stores, it's important for us to maintain good customer service day in and day out. If you don't give good service to customers, you don't maintain good service, you don't maintain a good company. TCI, in my book, has certainly represented customer service to the nth degree.
And welcome back to Troy High School as we have 1:10 left in this one to finish it off. The Troy Colts 36 and the Troy Athens Redhawks 14. Colts looking to go 7-2 in the season. And the Redhawks will go to 6-3. Here the punt is a good high punt. And did Miller touch it? That's the question. No, he didn't. Good job by Miller to pull his hands away and just let it go. Ball inside the 20 and about the 16-yard line. Let's take a look. Very close. No, he didn't. He was about a good foot away. So good job by Miller just to let it go, and it stops at about the 16-yard line. Redhawks would have liked a nice return on that, but it was just a good punt, good high punt, and they couldn't do much on that. 1st and 10, just under a minute left in this one. Graves to air it out and go deep. Right down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Clock stopped at 52 seconds. Let's take a look. Intended down there for Andy Braculus, number 9. Let's take a look as Graves airs it out and doesn't get the type of spin he wants on as the wind gets a hold of it after being in the air so long. But he showed a lot of strength in getting that out there with the wind. 52 seconds left. 52 seconds in the season, possibly for both these teams, although the Colts are hoping that they can get into the playoffs with this victory. And a combination of losses by Henry Ford and Catholic Central. The pass goes outside to Mikula. Mikula stays in bounds, so it didn't really help the Redhawks, and now they're going to have to call a timeout. They want a timeout. They want to run a couple more plays here. Let's take a look. Mikula right now should really be looking to get out of bounds instead of trying to get an extra yard or two. But they finally get him down, and they call a timeout. Again, 40 seconds left in the season, really, for the Redhawks, as they will drop to 6-3 overall. And the Troy Colts going to 7-2 have a possibility of getting into the high school state playoffs. The Master Anglers, Thursday night at 8 p.m. with your host, this guy right here, Mark Gomez. And I'll tell you, he catches not only those big fish, he has some great stories to tell with some big-name fishermen around the area. That's Thursday night at 8, right here on TCI 63. And he's not a bad cameraman, too. He does some of the camera work, as you see right here. Isn't that beautiful? That's the Master Angler, folks. Right here on TCI 63. I don't know what that was. Graves to throw. Gets his man, goes out of bounds. Complete to Chet Miller. 1st and 10. Let's take a look. Miller got enough for the first down and goes out of bounds. Good patterns run by the Redhawks when they need them. And they've done a good job in running those patterns and getting some quick offense going. Graves back to throw. Graves complete at midfield as he completes it to Belanger. Now Belanger has caught some big passes. Not only that 2-point conversion, but he's come up big a couple of times tonight. Take a look. Graves looks around and gets his man right down the middle of the field and right at midfield. There he is. That's the Master Angler. No, it's not Halloween, folks. That is the Master Angler. As and again, I don't know what he's doing. Let's take a. Oh, there he is. And he is angry. He looks angry. Maybe the big one got away. That is what we were looking at before. There he is, right there. So it wasn't his camera work after all. Now we'll get a chance to see his camera work. Trust me, he does a good job down there. Back to throw, Graves. 2nd and 10. Scrambling. Finally caught and flung out of bounds, and he tried to get rid of it. What are they going to call? I think he was already out of bounds when he tried to get rid of that ball. Let's take a look. Graves should just either run out of bounds or just throw the ball away. He's eating up the clock here. I know he's trying to find somebody open, but now he's got nothing but black. Right here, he should try to get away with it, throwing it away, but no. He's out of bounds already. And then on top of that, Troy Colt hits him, so there was no penalty either. Graves, pressure, got away, unloads deep, up for grabs. And an interception. Intercepted by Fakori down there, and he goes down the sideline and tries to pitch it back. Ball is loose, and the Red Hawks fall on it, but that's it. That'll do it for this one. And the Troy Colts win the Battle of Troy here over the Red Hawks, 36-14. Gary Griffith looking on, and now the future of the Colts is in the hands of Catholic Central. There, John Walker talking to Gary Griffith, both men, a lot of respect for each other. And their coaching staffs, they work together, the staffs, during the off-season and set up some scrimmages and do some work together. A lot of these players, again, know each other. Let's take a look at the last play. A lot of things going on here as Fakori comes up with the interception. That's only the 4th interception thrown all year long for Graves. 3 of them came against Clarkston, all 3. So this was the 4th. Now Fakori tries to get it back, and now watch, the pitch goes back and the ball is loose. Now if they pick it up instead of falling on it, they could have gone in for a touchdown, but instead that clock had run out, and that was it. So the final score, the Troy Colts 36 and the Troy Athens Red Hawks 14 in the Battle of Troy, and that'll do it for the football season, the regular season for the Red Hawks. The Troy Colts really, as we said, just really their fate is in Catholic Central's hands. If they lose to Brother Rice, the Troy Colts may squeak into the state playoffs. We'll be back to wrap things up from Troy High School right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
And welcome back to Troy High School, where the Troy Colts are victorious over the Troy Athens Red Hawks 36-14. And let's wrap things up for you here on a big night for the Colts. Athens passing 106, and that's mostly desperation towards the end of the game there as they tried to hurry up and get the ball downfield. And the Colts let them do it, too. 59 passing for Troy, rushing 138 for Athens, 212 for Troy, 156 of those 212 going to Jim Essien on 30 carries, and he carried the ball 30 times out of 57 plays that the Troy Colts had. So half of the time he's getting the ball. The total yardage 271 to 244, so it kind of evened up a little bit afterwards as the Athens Red Hawks try to get back into this one, but it wasn't enough. 16 first downs for Athens, Troy 12. 2 turnovers, both of them going to Athens. And then 27 minutes for Troy, 20 for Athens in time of possession. Scoring by quarters, you saw Troy on the board first with 8 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second. and they pretty much put it away at halftime. There was no scoring in the third quarter by either team, but Troy had the ball at the 1-yard line to start the fourth quarter, and that's when they got there. So 14 for Troy, 14 respectively for Troy Athens to finish out the game in the fourth quarter. So 36-14 our final. Don't forget, in January it'll be high school basketball coming your way, college basketball over at Oakland University. It'll be Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. right here on TCI 63. Watch for us then in January. The final score and the final game of the season, the Troy Colts 36 and the Troy Athens Redhawks 14. For all of us here at TCI Sports, I'm Dave Zorin. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in January, and we'll see the Master Angler on his program too. Really, somebody go help him, resuscitate him. Good night, everybody.